joining us on the news in Africa and the world. We open this midweek's edition in the Democratic Republic of Congo with an investigation that has been officially opened against John Tumba, current Minister of Vocational Education and ally to the President's Chief of Staff, Vital Kamerhe. Being into the government last August, he was charged of monitoring the execution of the works of the 100 Days program in the province of Kasai Central, his electoral stronghold. The governor of the said region had accused minister of having embezzled $32 million within the framework of his program. The Attorney General at the Supreme Court of Cassation has already opened a judicial file and is waiting for the green card from the National Assembly to summon John Tumba for his first hearing. Kenya has urged Somali aviation authorities to carry out a speedy investigation into the fatal crash of a humanitarian aircraft in the Bay region, southern Somalia, amid unconfirmed reports it may have been shot down. The Kenyan registered plane belonged to African Express Airways, crashed in the town of Badal on Monday, killing all 6 crew on board, 2 Kenyan and 4 Somali nationals. It was carrying medical supplies for use in the fight against the coronavirus, according to the Somali Transport Minister, who said the accident occurred under unclear circumstances. Badal in the Southern Bay region is secure with Somali and Ethiopian troops reinforcements, but the Al-Shabaab Islamist insurgent group is active in the area. Uganda has moved quickly to bring in one of the toughest coronavirus lockdown in the region. It has been extended for another 2 weeks, even in some restrictions are lifted, allowing a number of businesses to reopen. The capital, Kampala, appeared more lively than it has in recent weeks, as markets, garages, law firms, and many others were allowed to reopen on Tuesday. The country has recorded just 97 official COVID-19 cases and no deaths. While announcing the new measures, President Museveni said the wearing of masks was mandatory in public spaces. Schools remain closed and public and private transport banned. Restaurants are allowed to operate, but only to serve takeaways. In South Africa, health workers are at the center of a COVID-19 vaccine. The process is testing the efficacy of BCG, Bacillus Calmette-Guerin, a tuberculosis vaccine against the coronavirus. 500 health workers are involved in the process undertaken by TASC, a medical research organization funding the study. 250 participants have so far been given the injection. The trial is to be extended to some 3,000 participants in Cape Town, who will be monitored for a year, TASC noted. The primary objective of the trial is to find out if BCG vaccination reduces disease severity, hospital admissions, and death in frontline workers with direct patient contact during the pandemic phase of COVID-19. Out of Africa, South Korea has returned largely to normal this Wednesday as workers went back to offices, museums and libraries reopened under eased social distancing rules after new coronavirus cases dropped to a trickle. The South endured one of the worst early outbreaks of the disease outside China, and while it never imposed a compulsory lockdown, strict social distancing had been widely observed since March. In a population of 51 million, its death toll is little more than 250, and new cases have slowed to just a handful, 13 in the past 3 weeks, all of them arriving international passengers. According to Korean Center Disease Control, the total number of infections stands at 10,806. An apparent attempt to invade Venezuela involving several Americans remains shrouded in confusion as the two countries traded accusations, but offered little new information about the mysterious mission. President Donald Trump on Tuesday said the United States government had nothing to do with an alleged incursion into Venezuela that landed 2 U.S. citizens behind bars in the crisis-stricken South American country. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said they were part of an operation to kill him that was backed by neighboring Colombia and the U.S. U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper echoed Trump's comment, saying the United States government had nothing to do with what happened in Venezuela in the past 2 days. The government of India has embarked on a massive operation calling on passenger jets and naval ships to bring back some of the hundreds of thousands of nationals stuck abroad due to coronavirus lockdown. Flights to 13 countries will start on Thursday, while warships have already been deployed to bring back the thousands of workers stranded overseas. All flights to India were suspended in late March as it imposed one of the world's strictest virus restrictions. Evacuees will have to pay for their passage. They will be screened, segregated, and spend 14 days in quarantine on arrival. And developing news tonight, sightings of an Asian giant hornet have prompted fears that the vicious insect could establish itself in the United States and devastate bee populations. The roughly 2-inch long insect known as the murder hornet made its way to the U.S. for the first time ever, researchers said. It has been known to kill up to 50 people in a year in Japan. Scientists have since embarked on a full-scale hunt for the hornet, worried that the invaders could decimate bee populations in the U.S. and establish such a deep presence that all hope for eradication could be lost. Thank you very much for watching the news on DBS Television. Do stay tuned as programs continue. Until we meet, do take care.